Minecraft villages can be a little bit boring looking, but Kyle from KyleKraft and I are going to transform this village into two different styles. Don't you go anywhere if you want to see what we're going to do. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening and good night, depending on what time you're watching this next video from me, Avomance, in my collaboration series with KyleKraft, where we transform a village in two different ways. I'm going to be transforming it in a medieval rustic style. You can kind of see what I've done so far in the background over there, just behind me, you can see that. And Kyle is doing it in a modern style and it looks absolutely amazing. Make sure that you go and see his as well. So today, it's the last one. We have done pretty much most of the buildings, but we haven't done the village centre, we haven't done the farms, and we haven't put all the paths in and made it look fancy. So today is the fancying episode. So we're going to see whether or not we can make that fella over there more fancy and look fab, put the lights in and all that kind of malarkey. Let's crack on. So this is the way we've marked it out. That little blue square near the middle there, that is the village centre where the well is, and the red rectangles are the farms. We've also got some other details to put in. Ignore where the pathways are at the moment. That could absolutely change throughout this episode. And we're going to finish off with something that I hope looks pretty decent. So let's start by having a crack at this well. And actually, in reality, this is properly hard. Because there's so little of it. There's actually not an awful lot that you can do to it to make it look interesting. So I'm going to just attempt to change it up ever so slightly from the original. It's not going to be much of a transformation, but it's going to be a little bit of one. Let's get, I've got gravel there. I'm going to replace those with gravel. Ignore where these paths are. These paths are almost certainly going to be removed. And then do we want to put that up there? I might go with 2 rows of this, you know, because I mean theoretically, if we're talking about something that's wet, there is the potential for this to have moss all over it, right? That sort of makes sense. So I'm just going to bring that up there and there, and in the corner, I'm going to have to see. I told you we need to get rid of the path because it's showing that blue wool. There and there. Yeah, okay, so now I'm just going to dig down a bit in here, like this. That should probably do, and then I'm just going to line the whole lot, I think, with mossy cobble, because really, if the outside is going to be, oh, I thought there might be, if the outside is going to be mossy, then the inside of this is absolutely going to be mossy, and that just seems logical. So I'm just going to get this done. There we go, we're nearly there. There and there. No. Then I'm just going to put some water in, make some water sources from all the way down here. Okay, we're there. I don't want this to have water that's flowing downwards, so I am going to create infinite water source all the way down, and I think I'm going to leave it there. I'm not going to bring it up higher than that. No, I'm happy. I am going to, I wonder if we want to just link up these corners, otherwise it's going to look incredibly flat, and flat is not something I really want for this. So if we link up the corners there like that, that gives a little bit more interest, doesn't it? And then we're going to come up too high on those corners. There. There, like that. Right, so now I've got to think about how we're going to do this. So if I put one of those on each side. Get it on there then, man, for goodness sake. One of those on each side there. Is that going to start to look too big? Now, I think we'd be all right. If I then come across, I think I need to come out and make it wider. I may take those out the way in a minute. I'm not sure, because that might make this roof too big. And I'm concerned if it gets too big, then we're just going to have something that's, you know, too in the way. Let's have a look. I think we may be okay. He's thinking, yep. If I bring that in the corners, we can then bring this out. No, not there. In that kind of shape. Yep, that'll work. And if I bring that around, that's going to inevitably fill up the whole... Actually, that fills up the whole lot. So how are we looking for that? If I do that, it's quite simple, but it's relatively effective. I might put a little bit of light up in the top though, because yep, sync, why don't you? There and there, because I think it'd be quite useful. Get out. Be quite useful to have some light in that. Is that going to need some cover? That light's quite... That's quite pushy, isn't it? I might... Oh, actually, this is an interesting idea. If I put a spruce trapdoor under that, it's still going to let the light through, but actually makes for quite a nice finish. So I can put that there and that there. Yeah, I think we're onto a winner here, peeps. That there, that there. Perfect. So now we've got light and interest on the inside, but in reality, it's relatively... It looks like it's not got the light on it, which is kind of nice. Now, I might put some buttons on this, you know. Wooden buttons, not jungle buttons. That's not what I want. Let's try some oak buttons. If I put oak buttons there and there, does that just look silly? Let me come back and I'll take a look. Doesn't look silly, but I've got to be honest, I'm starting to think I don't like those cobblestone stairs. Let's see if I can do something. Let's just look at it with stone stairs. See, that's so much better. Let's go with stone stairs there. And there. So how are we looking? That, my friends, looks okay. I wonder, I'm just going to test something. Just bear with me a minute here, peeps, because I know I don't need this light, but how does it look with these torches? No, don't like it. I'm going to remove those. That is too much. I wonder if... I know I always say put wooden buttons on stone, but if I put those there like that, those there like that, it just makes for an interesting little stud. Just want to have a look at what it would look like. No, you lose them completely, don't you? So let's get rid of that and put those buttons back in again, because that's better. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I think I'm going to put in a little bit of green, kind of randomly. So then I need to get rid of that. Put in a bit of green there. And on this side, let's put the gravel in. I'm actually going to put that too high, I think. That works all right. I think we are good. Right, so that is that bit more or less done. I'll come back to it in a bit. So now we're going to have a crack at the farm fields. And this, again, because, I mean, if you look at the originals, all you're talking about is a load of wooden blocks surrounding some dirt with a bit of water. It's actually very difficult to work out what it is you're going to do. The one thing I know I am going to do is I'm going to have dirt in it. So I'm just going to fill up the dirt because that's basically going to take my mind towards while I'm thinking about what it is we're going to do, because I'm really genuinely struggling with this one. If I put all of that in, well, I don't know why I've done that, that really doesn't matter, and we're going to put water in the middle of that, definitely, That's an absolute must. And then we're going to put a top slab there, and then we're going to need a hoe. If I put a hoe in there, and I'm going to hoe it all, then at least we've got that land is hoed, because we are going to grow crops in it after all, so that's what we need. Yeah, okay, so that's that. Now I'm looking at it and I'm looking around, and if I do this out, I don't think stone's going to work. I don't think stone is going to work. I'm going to go... I had the thought that maybe, just maybe, we could bring the stripped oak in, but we can't make it too light. So put oak stairs around so they can easily step up onto it. I may take this all down in a minute, so don't shout at the screen saying, Avo, what you're talking about. Let's just do that. But I've got to be honest, I think that looks okay. This grass is getting in my way. I think that looks all right. However, let me just look at it from up here. This is all too light. So yeah, see, I thought if I'm going to do the spruce, I need to put a little bit of detail on here as well. Otherwise, it's going to just look a little bit too uncontrasted. And I also want to bring some light in, of course. So let's put those on there. There and there. Right, so it looks a little bit too much like a plinth. How much? What's the width of that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Oh, it's odd. Of course it's odd. So if I put that there like that, that like that, that like that, and that like that, and then do the other side as well, that might actually do the job. They're like that. I think as a standalone farm, I think it's average. I think I'm going to bring in and surround it with gravel, just to, otherwise it just looks like it's sat there, really, doesn't it? So like all the other buildings, I'm going to surround this with gravel. And then obviously the detailing around it, this looks like a really hard line at the moment around it. Definitely looks like some kind of plinth. But we're going to soften all these lines up when we do the final detailing, so I'm not too worried that that's what we've done. Okay, so now I think this is a carrot field. I'm going to make this a carrot field, yeah. So let's pop the carrots into it now. It's plenty big enough for that one drop of water in the middle to be irrigating the whole lot. That is cool. And then what I am going to do is I'm going to put this in here, that on that at a slight angle, and we're going to put that, that, and that. So that's like a scarecrow, and I thought, what's the scariest thing I can put on its head? And I decided it was that. So there is the scarecrow for that farm. That's about the scariest scarecrow I have ever seen. I'm going to need to do some more detail on the farm. I'm genuinely not happy with it looking so plinthy, and I think it's the detailing at the end is what's going to finish it off. So I'm now going to rubber stamp that farm across all of the other farm areas except for the one in the middle, which I've got some thoughts for. So I have got all of those farms except for that one in the middle all sorted, and each one has got a very scary scarecrow, as you can see. Some of them KyleKraft and some of them Avomance. Yet two really frightening looking fellas if ever I saw them. If you're interested in how to do that, by the way, the command is here. So you can see it says give whoever the command is Minecraft : player _ head, funny looking bracket thing, skull owner : the name of the player, close this funny looking bracket thing, space, and the number of heads you want. That, assuming that you give the proper IGN in this name, is what you're going to get with the head. So if you put in Avomance there, you'll get my head. If you put in KyleKraft there, you'll get Kyle's head. If you put in your IGN, you'll get your head. It's all very, very easy. So that's how you do that. For the farm in the middle, I wanted to do something very, very slightly different. So this is an experiment. This may get completely deleted. I'm just going to have a play. I'm freestyling this like I've never freestyled before. So if I put 2 of those there, 2 of those there, then another one of them, another one of them, was that leave me 1, 2, 3. Oh, that's handy. Let's put that there, 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 and there. So I'm just going to repeat that on the other side. So it's 2 gap, 2 gap, 2 gap, 2, there and there. What we got here? 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1. So I need to go 1, 2, oh, not there, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then in the middle, and then put that one in the middle, and move these 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. Right, so it's sort of a plinthy plinth still, and we are still struggling with these plinth malarkeys. And again, I need to get rid of these because piles next to these blocks don't work at all, do they? Let's get rid of those. Coming around, we've got none on that side, that's good, and we've got 1 there and 1 there. Right, so we're going to replace any paths and stuff like that and make it look pretty and all that. So now I'm going to randomly place, you know, a bit like the walls that I do, I'm going to randomly place different types of stone block. It literally is randomly, I'm making it up as I go along. It doesn't matter if they go next to each other at all, in fact. So I'm just going to do this and I'll be back in a sec. So we've got, I'm not sure about the wood, by the way, I may change it, but what I want to do is I want to bring that all the way along. Is that, yes, I want to bring that too high at the moment. Then I want to, actually no, I want to bring it 3 high, like that. Then I want to put a trim all the way around this, like that. And then actually it doesn't matter with some of these woods anyway because they're going to get hidden. I'm going to take these woods out. It don't work. I'm going to fiddle around with that and do something. Actually no, I'm not. I've got a thought that might actually work. So that gives me, that's there and that's there. Right, yes. So what I'm now going to do, I'm going to get these 2 colours, red terracotta, and I'm going to bring this red terracotta up 1, 2, 3. I need to make sure I get this the right height. First off, so I'm going to put the green terracotta there, like that, that up there like that, that there like that, that there like that. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I want this red 5 high in that case. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I'm going to come across that way. Yeah, I do. Then I want to come up 6 that way. 5. That across like that. That across like that. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, is A and K for Avomance and Kyle. It's going to be a statue. I know. Do I want to be any more kind of self-obsessed than that? But I thought, you know what? Why not? I'm a little unhappy with the way that K looks. I think it needs to come down 1 block like that. That's better, which means that this needs a slight fiddling, that there like that. That's better. Actually, that's loads better. That's loads better. I'm much, much happier. Okay, so we've got A and K, and I somehow want to light that up. So I reckon I'm going to go in there, and in fact I'm going to go in all of those. I'm going to get myself some glowstone, because these villagers are worshipping the creators, and that is obviously me and Kyle. How can I do that? What about a bit of grey carpet? I'm going in that one for grey carpet. That would work, wouldn't it? Put grey carpet there and there. There and there. That covers that up very nicely, thank you. Now I appreciate there's still some spawnable blocks on there, but that's all right. I'm now going to get some oak leaves, and I'm going to put some oak leaves as bushes, and I'm going to cover up the wood just so as it hints through, because I quite like the idea of it hinting through like that. There, there and there. There, and there. That's all right, I think. So now what we need to do is, if I take a bit of a step back, that's pretty much all of the structures done, but it is severely lacking in some details. So I'm going to jazz this fella up right now. So that is what it used to look like. That is the original village. It's quite a nice little village, actually. It wouldn't be horrible to live in. I think they'd be quite happy there, frankly. It's got farms, it's got buildings, it's got everything you need. But I've decided that the village really should look like this. It's got the pier, obviously I had to put that back in there. We've got our farms, we've got a nice path moving around everywhere with plenty of light. Around this side we have got our little garden that the villagers might like to have just a little wander around in. If they're bored one day, they might just take the sun, read a book, something like that, or just go quite a lot. And I think that this village turned out pretty well, actually. I'm very happy with it. But what about Kyle's village? So I'm over in Kyle's world. Oh, there's a bat. Not that I'm distracted. I'm over in... I wonder if that's the same bat that was floating around in Kyle's video a couple of weeks ago. Who knows? Anyway, might be. Get onto it, man. I'm in Kyle's world. I've literally just loaded up the first time, and as normal, it is facing me so as I can't see what he's done. This is the last one, people. Let's see what Kyle has done with... So what we're looking at, we're looking for the farm. We're looking for the well, and we're possibly looking at some details like paths and stuff like that, maybe some other bits. Let's see what we've got. I'm going to F5, and whoa, I like those. They're good. Oh, that's really good. That's really nice. That's really nice. I like the way that you've rather predictably use that stripped oak, but with the upside down fences there and that clear glass paintage. That makes for a really attractive look, and I like the way that you've got it ever so slightly asymmetrical, the way you've done that here. Ah, look at that. And we've got trapdoors over the water streams as well, and you've got your... That's a good job. I tell you what, that is a good job. That is very nice. I like the shape. I like the texture and the mixture of blocks that you've got. Great job there, my mate. Great job. So this is the smaller one over here. Yep, that works equally well, doesn't it? Look at that. Very clever. I'm liking it very much. Okay, so the well. Oh, this looks funky. So we've got some... so black stained glass there with black concrete over the water, because obviously in a modern village, I imagine, you wouldn't be going down the well to get the water. The water would be coming through some very sophisticated plumbing system, and therefore you don't need access to it over the top. That's sweet. Like it a lot. Brilliant. Stripped wood again there. He's got an obsession. I think he needs to go to Stripped Oak Anonymous, this poor man. Very nice there, my mate. And then we've got the pathway. I love the textures of this with the different directions that we've got on those different types of woods, interspersed with a little bit of this cobble. That's working. Actually, is this the pier? I guess it could be both, right? It could be the pathway and the pier. That's nice. I think it's probably the pier, not the path. That's the pier. Yeah, that makes far more sense. The mixture of woods is great. I love that. Right, so the big question, how is that going to integrate into the village? I can't remember which way I'm going. There I am. Look at that on the horizon as it comes over. That's superb. That looks brilliant. It looks like something out of a film. Coming around, looking at how they look. Look, those bald-headed Dr. Evils still stood on top of that big one like they were last week. That's, look at that. That's lovely. So we've cleared that full pathage. Nice straight paths there. Very modern and minimalistic. That's quite good. And then the pier going out there like that. Look, that's super. Walking around with these farms there. I think we may have just done something pretty good. I'm impressed. That's fabulous. I'm really happy with that. Look at that view from there. That looks brilliant. So I thought it would be good to stand on top of the village centre just to have a little look around at what we've done. I went a little bit overboard with the old fish in that pond there. Can you see? I made that pond loads bigger. It was a tiny little puddle before, so I've made it loads bigger and terraformed that up. And I put a massive overabundance of cod and salmon, and more specifically tropical fish inside there because, well, I don't know, I thought it'd be nice to have tropical fish, and it's, so I'm calling it, let's pretend they're koi carp. There you go. So it's a lovely big carp pond that we got there. But I think actually Kyle did an absolutely superb job. I was really impressed with the finished product there. It's very often like when you do a painting, it doesn't look like it's coming together until the very last brush strokes, and all of a sudden, pop, everything is there. And I think the same has happened with this rustic medieval build as well. We've got the statue in the middle there, testament to Kyle and me. I think this came out beautifully. We have got both of these worlds available to download. So if you want to, feel free to go down to the description, download both the worlds, have a good wander around, a tour around both the villages. If you really want to, set up your base there and build a world around it. That would be absolutely amazing. I just want to say thank you to KyleKraft. This has been a pleasure to work with you, sir. I've had an absolute ball. I think we've done some great work, and I'm really looking forward to perhaps working with you on other projects in the future. That would be an honour. Thank you very much, sir. If you've enjoyed this video, please do remember to slap that like button. It'd be great to know you're enjoying them, and I will keep on making them. Go and say hello to Kyle and like his too. Also, if you've not done it already, please do hit both of our sub buttons. It'd be great to know you're in our sub clubs, and look forward to seeing you in another video. You take it easy now. Bye.